ever feel like
Oh, yeah.
your phone's GPS is speaking a whole other language?
Like ancient Sumerian or something?
Yeah, well, that's
Right.
kind of what's happening in the world of nautical charts.
Really?
We're going deep into this document from the Geophone group.
Oh, okay.
And it's like a skeptical behind-the-scenes look
I like it already.
at a major tech upgrade impacting ships around the globe.
Wow, global.
Yeah. You see this new standard called S-101.
Okay.
It's coming to replace the S-57 system.
The trustee S-57.
Yeah, the one that's been the backbone of safe navigation for years.
Right.
And for anyone who's not a seasoned sailor, nautical charts,
Yeah.
they're like Google Maps for ships,
Okay.
but way more intricate.
Got it.
They show everything. Water depths, hazards, coastlines, you name it.
So important.
Essential. These charts guide those massive cargo ships.
The one's carrying all our stuff.
Exactly. Everything from your latest online shopping spree
Uh-huh.
to the coffee beans that fuel your mornings.
Ooh, don't forget those.
So this switch to S-101,
Yeah,
it's a big deal.
definitely.
And this document, it raises some serious questions
I quit.
about whether it's all smooth sailing or if we're heading into choppy waters.
I see. Well, what's interesting about this document is that it doesn't just stay surface level.
Right.
It gets into the technical details,
Uh-huh.
but it always connects back to the bigger picture.
I like that.
The cost, the safety, and,
And if it actually improves things.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so S-101, it's like the sequel
His sequel
to S-57, right?
Okay.
But it's not just adding new features.
Right.
It's built on this whole new foundation called S-100.
That's 100, right. It's like a universal data model.
Okay.
And it's being championed by the International Hydrographic Organization.
The IDO.
Yeah, the IHO. And their vision is ambitious, to say the least.
In what way?
Well, they're aiming to transition to ISO standards.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense for global compatibility.
Right, exactly. But then there's this part about making data easier to share.
Across different systems.
Yeah, across different systems and improving how those electronic charts display information. And the document points out it's not exactly clear how they're going to achieve these things.
So we've got these big goals,
Big goals.
but the specifics are kind of fuzzy.
Yeah, it's like saying you're going to build a faster car,
Oh, I like that.
but not explaining what's under the hood.
Right.
So you've got this document, and it really dives right into the heart of it.
Comparing S-101 to S-57.
Yeah, with a ton of detail.
Head-spinning stuff.
We're talking new objects, modified attributes, different geometry.
A whole new language.
It really is.
For nautical charts.
And that's where the so what question comes in.
Because it's not just like a cosmetic makeover, right?
Right, it's not just a new coat of paint,
This is about how the data is structured.
which affects how it's used, how it's interpreted.
And the Geophone group.
Yeah, the folks behind this document,
They build systems that use this data.
they're in the thick of it.
So their skepticism.
It really jumps out at you.
They're questioning whether these changes genuinely improve things,
Or if it's just a different way of writing the same information.
like changing the font,
Haha, exactly.
Yeah.
Changing the font in a document.
but not actually updating the content.
Exactly.
And they use this brilliant analogy.
Oh, yeah. Golly.
They point out that throughout history, we've developed new ways of writing things down.
Like
Math.
math, sure.
Because we had new concepts.
New problems to solve.
Exactly. But has
The
hydrography,
science of charting the oceans.
has it really changed that much?
To meet a whole new language
Makes you wonder if we're complicating things.
for the sake of complexity.
Yeah.
And that leads to another big question.
Which is?
Is it worth the cost?
Because switching to S-101,
Oh, it's not going to be cheap.
not at all.
Yeah.
This document,
Yeah.
it lays out the financial side.
Hit me with the numbers.
We're talking real numbers here. Hydrographic offices already spend around 10-15% of their budget on software.
Just to manage the data?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the Geophone group, they estimate that transitioning to S-100,
Could add, what, like 10%?
try 200-300% on top of that
Whoa! Are you serious?
over the next 5 years.
That's potentially tripling, quadrupling their software costs.
Mind-boggling.
And who pays for that ultimately?
Likely taxpayers.
Taxpayers.
And maybe even higher shipping costs.
Oh, so you and I.
End up paying for it at the checkout line.
Wow.
Suddenly, this technical change feels a lot more personal.
Absolutely.
Right.
It's not just about the money, though.
What else?
This document goes deeper,
Oh,
raising some serious concerns about safety.
hold on. Safety concerns.
Yeah.
Now, that's something our listeners need to hear about.
The document suggests S-101 might actually restrict the types of data that ECDI systems can use.
ECDI,
Yeah.
Electronic chart display and information system. Okay, so that's the tech that lets ships see those nautical charts.
Yeah, in real time. Essential for navigation, especially in tricky areas.
So you're saying this new system could limit the information available to captains?
It's a possibility.
Imagine trying to navigate a narrow channel without the latest data on water depths or currents.
Could be a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, that's not just an inconvenience.
Not at all.
And what makes it even more interesting, the document mentions
Yeah.
companies already mixing S-57 and S-100 data without these limitations.
So is this restriction like a technical necessity or is it an artificial constraint?
It's a good question.
It is.
Okay, so we've got potential cost overruns, possible safety issues, and a whole lot of unanswered questions.
Lots to unpack.
Where do we go from here?
Well, the Geophone group, they don't just point out problems.
Oh, good.
They offer potential solutions.
Okay.
They're not against progress. They just want to make sure
That it's smart.
smart, cost-effective.
And it actually makes things better. That aligns with our listeners.
Oh, yeah.
We're all about understanding these complexities
Absolutely.
without getting lost in the jargon or the expense.
They want practical solutions.
Not just theoretical frameworks.
Precisely. And that's why this deep dive is so valuable.
We're cutting through the noise.
Getting to the heart of what matters.
Is this change truly beneficial?
That's the million-dollar question.
And this document
Raises some doubts.
does.
It definitely does. As we continue this deep dive, we'll unpack those doubts
Okay.
and explore whether the benefits of S-101 outweigh the risks and costs.
Sounds good.
This is a conversation that's relevant not just to the maritime world,
Right.
but to anyone grappling with the complexities of technological change.
For sure.
So we're left grappling with this fundamental question, the one the Geophone group poses.
Yeah.
Is it really worth all this cost and upheaval?
Just to change how the data is written.
Not the data itself.
It's like rewriting a whole encyclopedia just to use a different font.
Yeah. Haha, right. Wouldn't you rather see improvements to the content itself?
Absolutely.
And that's what's missing in this whole S-101 discussion.
The evidence.
Yeah, where's the evidence that this new system actually enhances safety or efficiency or even data sharing?
We're seeing lots of technical changes, but
But do they translate into tangible benefits?
that's what the document's questioning.
And then they'll hold back.
No, they don't.
They get into specific examples,
Like what?
like how S-101 handles the geometry of objects.
Geometry. Okay.
So in S-57, a coastline might be represented as a series of connected points.
Okay, I can picture that.
But in S-101, it could be a more complex curve,
Sounds like an improvement.
more detail, right?
Yeah.
But the Geophone group argues
Uh-huh.
this added complexity doesn't necessarily mean a more accurate representation.
Oh, the coastline.
Yeah, it just means more data to process.
Which can slow things down.
Slows things down and even introduce errors.
And they point out that if greater precision was really needed, S-57 could have been adapted to handle it.
Right, to handle those complex curves.
So it's not that S-101 is bad.
No, it's that it might not be the most efficient solution.
Or the most cost-effective.
They're advocating for evolution, not revolution.
I like that.
And the stakes are high.
High in what way?
We're talking about global shipping.
A system that impacts everyone.
Absolutely. Any disruption or uncertainty
Yeah.
can have huge consequences.
Makes you think, are we rushing into this without fully considering the downsides?
That's the concern they raise, and it's a valid one.
Especially when you look at the alternatives.
Like what?
The document highlights how some companies are already mixing S-57 and S-100 data,
Mixing them, okay.
taking a pragmatic approach,
Using the best of both systems.
like a hybrid car,
Exactly. Combining the strengths.
to optimize performance.
And it raises the question,
Yeah.
if companies can find practical workarounds.
Why is this wholesale switch to S-101 necessary?
Good question.
The document doesn't give a definite answer.
But it makes a strong case for a more cautious approach.
To the transition.
Yeah, a phased approach.
And that's where their expertise comes in.
the Geophone group,
Yeah, they don't just criticize,
they offer solutions.
they advocate for a more gradual implementation,
Of S-101, yeah.
focusing on areas where it's clearly advantageous.
While keeping the good parts of S-57,
So instead of ripping off the Band-Aid,
they're suggesting a more strategic approach.
and they're putting their money where their mouth is.
How so?
They're focusing on automation,
Automation, okay.
developing tools to streamline the process,
Make it easier.
minimize the burden on hydrographic offices, reduce errors,
It's a problem-solving mindset.
which is what our listeners want.
Practical solutions, not theory.
Exactly.
And that's why this deep dive is so valuable.
We're encouraging critical thinking.
Getting people to ask the right questions.
What problems S-101 trying to solve?
Are the benefits worth the costs?
Are there better alternatives?
Empowering our listener.
To be informed participants in this technological evolution.
Exactly. It's about moving beyond blind acceptance.
And really engaging in a thoughtful analysis of new technologies.
Because at the end of the day, technology should serve us.
Not the other way around.
Powerful message.
And it goes beyond nautical charts.
Oh, yeah. It applies to everything.
So what does this all mean for our listener?
Good question.
You know, someone who might not be a maritime expert,
Right.
but is definitely impacted by global trade.
By all these technologies.
Exactly.
I think it means we all have a stake in understanding how this plays out.
Yeah.
Imagine waiting longer for your packages.
The worst.
Or seeing prices go up.
Yeah, no one wants that.
Just because of a software upgrade that might not even be necessary.
Right.
It really highlights the importance of asking critical questions.
Demanding transparency.
When it comes to new tech?
This document from Geophone Group,
Yeah,
it's like a wake-up call.
it really is.
Challenging us to look beyond the shiny promises.
Of new technology.
And really scrutinize whether those promises are being kept.
It's not about being anti-progress.
No.
It's about being informed.
Engaged citizens.
Demanding accountability.
Making sure technology works for us.
Exactly.
And I love how the document
Yeah.
doesn't just present a problem.
They suggest solutions.
They champion a more strategic approach,
to the S-101 transition.
focusing on gradual implementation.
Balancing innovation with practicality.
And they're not just talking. They're walking the walk.
How so?
Developing those automation tools.
To ease the transition.
Yeah, minimize the burden.
That combination of analysis and problem solving.
It makes this deep dive so valuable.
For our listeners, yeah.
We're equipping them
With the tools to think critically.
to engage in these conversations.
Because at the end of the day,
Yeah.
whether it's nautical charts, self-driving cars, AI,
It's all shaping our world.
technology is shaping our world,
And the more informed we are.
the better.
So to our listener, we leave you with this challenge.
Okay.
Don't just passively accept new technology. Ask questions. Demand evidence.
Right.
Make sure these technologies are making things better.
Making our lives better, safer, more efficient.
Keep your eyes on the horizon.
Stay curious.
Keep learning.
And with S-101,
Yeah,
keep watching how it unfolds.
because this journey toward better technology,
It's an ongoing one.
and we all have a role to play.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Until next time, keep exploring it.